Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune, Madam C.J. Walker. You combine all of them together. Oprah Winfrey that made more money than all of them combined. Oprah Winfrey ain't did 1% of the work that either one of them have done by themselves. Now how is that? Because she is not rooted in her spirituality and culture, and without that, even if you're making money and you got status, you're not going to direct that in a way where it can now impact everybody in your people. Because that's what you're supposed to be doing with education. Education and economics is not just about you. It's about you coming up with the community. That's why we had the African proverb saying, it takes a village to raise a child. See, when you and I were growing up, Miss Collins growing up, anybody in the community could whoop your butt. Now, you got retarded parents today, you better not whoop my child. Now that parent doesn't have discipline themselves, and they don't even want their child disciplined. Now, of course, we got a lot of other retarded people out now abusing and raping children and whatnot, but all this is a byproduct of not having these 6 pillars of empowerment in place. So you're right in terms of there being exceptions to the rule, but the majority of people in society, if you do not have man, woman procreating children with these 6 pillars of empowerment, you are not going to be able to do the things that you need to do and now find your purpose in life. Whitney Houston was a multi-millionaire. Her entrepreneurial skill was in intellectual property, but she's now dead. Did she really make an impact on society beyond the songs? Beyond the songs. Everybody, if you hear anything about Whitney Houston, everything is that she was a great singer. Woo, great singer. Oh, she did some great songs.
Not a great person. Great singer.
Great singer, not great person. Great singer. How many businesses that Whitney Houston helped to create? And this little diabolical Negro that y'all call Jay-Z, we just saw the other day, man, Kameko was talking, $63 million he made last year. How much money did he put back in it? $6,000. $6,000. Made $63 million, put $6,000 back. It ain't even close to 1%. 1% is 60,000. So this is what we're actually dealing with in terms of this overall game plan. Getting people to comprehend the dynamic of these particular principles, because if you don't do this, this is why most of our children don't even want to learn right now. Because they don't have spirituality and culture, so they don't see learning as anything important. Right when I was driving up, Doc, I was right behind the car. They stopped in the middle of the road. They didn't pull off to the side. So I'm trying to get to the class. Dude get out, pants off his butt. Other dude gets out, pants off his butt, but he has a shirt over it because, you know, there's a fine if your pants off your butt on campus. So he gets out with a backpack. What is he coming to learn? He probably is only doing it because of part of parole or something like that. Look.
Is it just like stereotype?
No, it's not stereotype. It's reality. Because if you had spirituality and culture, you would be wearing your pants off your butt.
So maybe he's just like, that's where he came from.
Nah,
but so you don't seriously think he don't want to learn
That's
anything?
my point. That's my point. So the reality is, if you're around negativity on a daily basis and you don't have spirituality, I come from the hood. So see, nobody can tell me that. See, I come from this environment. I deal with these cats every day. I play dominoes with them. And so when I sit down and talk to them, they don't even have a clue about this game. So they've created this environment. If you go to any hood, and I want to dispel this myth right now. Every ghetto in America, there's only about 5 to 8% of the ghetto that is a negative component. The majority of people in the ghetto get their butt up and go to work every day. They try to raise their children right. They try to go to church. This is the majority of the hood. But now in hip-hop, you see that that's the majority of the hood. But it only actually represents a very micro fraction of the hood. This is just reality. Most poor people don't go around shooting people and stabbing people and killing people and robbing people. It's only a small percentage of folks. And so even though he's around that on a daily basis, my point is, without spirituality and culture, and let's not get caught up, because one young lady yesterday said, I know some Chinese people get cornrows in their head. This is about statistics. So this is not about trying to find somebody who may wear their pants off their butts and want to quote unquote learn. Because the way that you know that that's not real is because you know that this is a negative fad that came out of prison. You already know that. Some of them know that. Most of these children don't know that. Because there is a symbolism to say you're offering yourself up for homosexual activity in prison. That's a fact. And so now, you got guys coming in and out of jail, now bringing this fad because guess what happened to them in jail? So now they made this a reality to people in the real world. And so now you've gotten off point from these particular points here. Education, economics, social equity, and politics.
Do you think some of that is kind of like going with the mothers are getting younger?
Well, she asked, do I think that this is because mothers are getting younger? And I can unequivocally say no, that's not the case. Because during coming out of slavery, you were having mothers were having females were having children 12, 13, 14 years old.
I think it's different like it is now because I have because of this. See, it's not the age. See, if these two things here, if you don't have the foundation, you're not going to embrace education, and you're not going to seek to do for yourself. You're going to be looking for See, back then, even though we had come out of slavery, we still had some aspects of our spirituality and our culture. So we knew how to form. We knew how to do different things. But like going back to what you were saying, like about your parents saying, you know, some of the men that have sons, they may be a little older, but they sagging, so they have their little sons sagging too.
Yeah, but they're not men. They're males without spirituality and culture. Let me tell you something. Everything gets back to these 6 pillars. It all gets back to it. Society cannot function in a progressive way if you don't have morals and ethics within the dynamics of what you're doing. Period. That's just the bottom line. There's no way to get around these 6 pillars of empowerment. And so if we now say, well, why don't we have businesses in our community? You don't have businesses because you're not spiritually and culturally connected to do for yourself. So we had businesses before integration, but the businesses are gone. So why did not people support the businesses? Because they're culturally void. So now they're rather, as this one lady said yesterday, I'd rather go support other shops than do for myself. Well, what's the first law of nature? Self-preservation. If you don't do for yourself, nobody else is supposed to do for you. How does a lion understand that and a human doesn't? Because a lion doesn't have rational thought. A lion is programmed to do what the creator programmed it to do. And that's all they're going to do. So you say, well, the other day, a newscaster got bit in her face by a pit bull on camera. And it was like, man, that was wrong, that dog. That dog was just being dog. You get in the damn dog face, dog supposed to bite your ass. Don't blame the dog and try to kill the dog. But so everybody thinks that they can control situations, but this is where it's at. So the saggy pants, the part that she's talking about, no. Who actually stereotypes is that person that's wearing the pants off the butt. See, that's the stereotype. And so at the end of the day, if you know that that's not what that's made for, why are you doing it? So now you go, oh, I want to show, see, I can wear my pants on my butt and I can learn at the same time. Well, why are you doing that particular symbolism? Why won't you now exude positive entities in your space? And so now the more money you get, I just heard Floyd Mayweather yesterday downing the Asian brother that's playing for the New York Knicks, Jeremy Lin. Yeah. Now he comes out and said, if that was a black dude, he wouldn't get all that popularity. Now why would you sit up and say something